Look, that's not why I did. All right. Today is Friday. Super excited to be here with you again. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. Welcome to the newspaper review segment here on your number one station. I'm excited about today. Super excited about this morning. I've been joined in the studios by Comrade Bernard Ambataila Mona, who is here seated. He is the convener for CSG. I know it's CSG. Justice for Ghana. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I trust you are well, sir. You could be better.
I'm struggling to be well.
I like that.
Health-wise,
yes,
I am good.
Pocket-wise.
Pocket-wise, everything is terrible.
All right.
Yeah.
Honorable, you've said good morning to you, sir. I trust you are well.
By the grace of Allah.
Are we going to our constituency on the motorbike?
Well, in fact, we can't have that. We will stop, even drop everything and be riding bicycles. Because I tell you that the fuel prices that have run amok under Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia. Today, my brother, the level of hardship is not only it's incredible.
Who is exactly chasing the fuel? I don't understand though, because it keeps running.
Kwame,
it's like somebody who's running.
If you have a situation where like more than 40% or so are made up of taxes, the petroleum price build-up, I'm sure we'll discuss it.
And I think it's important that we
It's a disaster, this government.
But also, we are failing, I don't know whether it's just that maybe we've not averted our minds to it. But you know, if you went to the restaurant and enjoyed sometimes you just want to treat yourself. And you receive the
bill.
The bill.
Yes.
I don't know if you.
Yes, there are a number of thousands built into them. Yes. So now when you go and eat now, your bill will escalate.
I'm telling you.
That's what happens.
Last time I said I won't do 2 no's for. Make I go chop some restaurant food.
If you go with somebody, you embarrass yourself.
You will embarrass yourself. Bernard, when I finish, the food be like 50 Ghana.
Run away from the place.
I finish, I pay 75 Ghana.
Yes.
No, I said I won't do 2 no's, but sometimes you treat yourself.
You went for a restaurant where it cost you 50 Ghana, and that is 2 no. Kwame.
The weak man rides with donkey when it is on the ground.
No, but you see, it is like accusing somebody who has always been riding a bicycle.
If you say this,
when he gets a motorbike, that's another big. I've been eating what 10 cedi, 5 cedi.
So now you go and get 75 cedis.
This morning,
gradually, the next time you go to where the 300 and 400 are.
As I was coming and I was listening to your news, I didn't know whether I should be crying because they had done some series of documentaries where somebody survives on 20
Ghana
Ghana
cedis.
cedis.
Yeah, I think I listened to that.
And in that, the person leaves 5 cedis at home. He spends 9 cedis on transportation, and virtually everything is gone. So he cannot survive.
As a matter of fact, he said that he eats once a day.
Yeah.
Every meal.
Yeah, and so
Once.
he has to skip various
That's late
meals.
afternoon. Yeah.
He has to skip breakfast, and obviously will skip dinner in order to survive. At the same time, we have a president who is flying over $14,000 per hour, so as to enable him to bath for journeys that are just 6 hours.
But you know that aircraft has been here since July. Oh.
Yeah. It has.
It's been here since
I
July.
have personally,
Are you sure that it's not
Since July.
personally had the occasion
Yeah,
to
that-
take,
that's what people are
bought by
asking.
somebody?
I said I have personally had the opportunity to take a picture of it at the airport.
Yes, that aircraft is still here.
But my question
Because
is,
I saw
are you
it and I
sure-
took a picture.
Yes.
And I think I showed you that picture.
Are
from
you
my
sure
phone.
it's not been bought by
So-
somebody?
Oh,
So-
these people there don't put anything beyond
So that
them.
it-
You can
it's
do
been
anything.
rented out.
You can do anything.
So we live in an economy of the opposites, where the president who is supposed to be leading a path for modesty and simplicity is living a life of an Arabian king, full of opulence and expecting the people of Ghana to squeeze water out of stone. So when we hear stories like this, honestly, you cannot be a happy man. You feel broken because this is reality. But this is even in Accra, Alaji. When you go to Sankana and many other places where life is next to impossibility and you experience real poverty of our people and you see the kind of lifestyle our leaders are going through, then you must hold yourself when you wake up. But I'm certain that that day is coming. I have no doubt. And when we want to speak, we are being haunted by the police and, of course, the judiciary. And I had the occasion to tell the boss of the police, I said, when you allow political leadership to use you to trample upon the feeble in society, the option available to us is to go into the bush. We'll return as gorillas. And when we are returning as gorillas, even ourselves, we are not safe. So we are not talking about the safety of anybody. And so the police must be minded. And more importantly, the fact that you are in uniform because you are not on retirement makes you a police officer.
When you're on retirement, we live in the same community.
We will live in the same community. You will now become a civilian like us.
Like my father, he
So-
never got over the fact that he was on retirement.
Yes. So
I'll definitely, yeah.
we will shoulder on in the face of the threats from government and its institutions. We will not keep quiet.
Yeah. Honorable, you wanted to just add a
Kwame,
quick-
yes,
yeah.
I say without any iota of hesitation, Kwame, that one day we shall all stand before our Maker and account. And especially for those who have been entrusted with power. You will be asked questions when you were given power to look after your people and all these resources were given to you to make sure that life was a little bit comfortable for them. What did you do with it? You choose to be flying in the air when your people are suffering excruciating hardship on the ground. You will be asked questions. You will account one day. If you think you are an omnipotent on this earth, you will answer questions.
What if the person doesn't believe in that?
Kwame, if you don't believe in gravity, you jump. Let's see whether you suspend. You can say that gravity doesn't exist. That's true. Just jump, just 2 feet or 3 feet up, and remain there. Let's see whether you remain there. So your belief is immaterial. Whether you believe it or not, you will get there. After denying it, when you get there, we'll see. And I've been saying the Kwame, and especially I get worried, especially when some matters of the judiciary, which in a democratic dispensation, come up and injustice takes root. Kwame, that will be the most worrying spectacle, because the judiciary is a bastion in our democratic process for protecting
protecting
the rights and rights and freedoms of our people. And Kwame, when you get elements of that sacrificing justice on the altar of either politics, personal decision or others, Kwame, is very worrying. Okay. You know that it took Anas and others when this matter came up. People were denying it, and people were saying that if you go, you can be held for contempt. You be threatened to provide. When Anas brought this in, it is then that we got to know that even some people were taking billy goats. Billy goats,
Aponche,
to administer justice. Kwame, in this country, we have had a situation where Chachu, it was after Mr. Chachu Chikata, after he was jailed.
Yes.
That more evidence came that he was willfully jailed without any the evidence before the judge did not suggest that. That is why later they came and after Chachi had suffered all those guys, nearly lost his life. They had to come back and say, oh, it was an injustice that was done. But at that time, the judge willfully, even notwithstanding, the evidence, Kwame, don't you do the evidence adduced before the court?
Absolutely.
On the basis of which you take the decision?
Absolutely.
Have you not been proving that sometimes they will just sit there and listen? Your evidence doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So those are some of the issues our colleague, what do you call it, Francis Sofu, Honorable Sofu is raising. And you have a Ghana Bar Association that has outlived its usefulness. Kwame, this is an organization that came and said they had gone on leave. When the MPP was in power, they say they are on leave. They don't talk about political matters. As soon as the NDC came back, they were on the rooftops, shouting to the high heavens, saying that they have a duty to hold government accountable. The people who went on leave not long ago are now at the citadel of politics, shouting themselves hoarse, holding government accountable. You see the hypocrisy of that organization.
Which organization?
The Ghana Bar Association. I'm telling you, it's inundated with hypocrisy. Politically, they are reducing themselves to an appendage of a political party. Kwame, and all these things must be what? So when you get people who come out to speak the truth, Kwame,
is it because
it must be that
is it because
they genuinely want certain things to be done. In fact, that is why
of your party.
This man said even long ago, Mr. Wardbrew said that, look, this is what has happened to this organization. And otherwise, noble organization that will stand as a bulwark for the defense of the civil liberties, rights, freedoms, and fundamental rights of Ghanaians. They are more interested in doing politics. Okay? And so, if you have organizations like this, those who are progressives within that organization must quit there and form a more viable organization that can champion the interests and rights of people and not be subsumed in these retrogressive matters that the organization is having. So clearly, I see a lot of the things our colleague Francis Sosu has said to hold water. Kwame, and it is important. And Kwame, I think there are things that have even gone viral. You people should have access. You have access to this. Pray for Ghanaians. We have even prominent people, including people who had pretended over the Ghana law school. They said all these things. They have said all these things before.
The video is with.
Yes, Kwame,
Bless.
You have it. Let Ghanaians hear.
I'm sure Bless would play it.
Yeah, let Ghanaians hear what prominent people, even within the profession, are saying about what is happening in this country. People must be bold enough to speak the truth.
Yeah, but you cannot speak the truth without any scintilla of evidence. You cannot just simply allege
Kwame.
I just gave you, for instance, what happened to Mr. Chachu Chikata.
Yeah, but I mean, it does not necessarily
mean what?
You know, mean that all.
I'll give you an analysis. I have not said all. I didn't say all. I said that phenomenon exists, and somebody was jailed willfully. Kwame, why would you ask yourself?
But same can be said for Abu Gapele as well. For political expediency, you needed to jail your own person. Some may also say that that is what you did to Abu Gapele.
That is a matter. That's what I said. That's a matter before court. But when you set out against the body of evidence to willfully jail somebody, Kwame, what interest does a judge has? So overwhelmingly that when they say the accused says that you have a bias, I don't think you can give me justice. Stay out of the process. Chichina, you go through every process and say whether they like it or not, you sit on the case. What interest do you have in the case? What will happen to you if you recuse yourself from the case? But we have any instances of this happen. And until another tape was played for people to say, for the former Chief Justice, Madam Georgina Wood, to make an attempt to clean the judiciary and revamp and redeem its image. What were we seeing happening? And so, Kwame, this is the issue that we are talking about. That is important for all these organs of state to remain accountable to people, to hold the true professional ethics that enjoin them to perform.
Honorable.
That is the issue that we are talking about.
I mean, it's not part of the topic, but I think because we brought it up, it's important that we touch on same. Bernard, I mean, look, there may be some element of truth in there. May be some element of truth in there. However, because we are sitting on the other side of the fence, you know, we are being very conclusive into believing that what Sosu said is a truism. You know, but same can also be said for the NDC in many respects.
Kwame,
should we go on that tangent? My argument is that should we go on that tangent? Because the very moment we begin to bastardize an institution which is supposed to be the arbiters of, you know, the last resort, for instance, for our democracy, then what are we seeking to achieve?
Kwame, I wish that we could cease to say the ills that exist therein within the judiciary. Unfortunately, we are unable to do so because reality is different from imagination. And because there is the reality of our judges taking various positions, it makes it difficult for us to conclude otherwise than to just say that a spade is a spade and not a big spoon.
Examples?
See, Professor Raymond Atuguba had done a research and had assembled the judiciary itself. And the Chief Justice then, Gloria Akufu, they were all there when he unveiled the outcome of the research. And the research was based on the kind of decisions the court and judges has made over the period. And it turned out that by that research, the judges only performed in accordance with who appointed them and under whose regime they became judges.
Okay.
At the same time, it was Professor Atuguba, David Annan, the late Larry Bimi, who spoke about the judiciary and the manner in which they were politically tainted. Don't forget that the General Legal Counsel had called them and virtually deprived them of the opportunity that no judge was going to listen to their case. And I'm sure you remember that because the General Legal Counsel took up the matter and decided that, look, they will not listen to the case of any case involving Atuguba, Larry Bimi, and David Annan. Lawyers had to go to court and say, look, the judges are not beyond criticism. And in any case, I have said on this platform that the Almighty God that we serve, when he takes some decisions on humankind, we come to question God why he took some decisions. Don't you say that? Oh God, why? Why this one? We question God and why certain decisions and actions have been taken. But when it comes to our judges, you cannot say that our judges are wrong. And when you look at the structure of the judiciary, from the circuit court through to the High Court, to the Appeals Court, to the Supreme Court, it tells you that no one person is the repository of knowledge and has the capacity to be infallible. We are all fallible.
But doesn't make them political.
Wait, we are all fallible. And to the extent that we are fallible and that we can make judgments or errors in our judgment, even the Supreme Court is called upon to review its own cases when they sit down after a while and say, no, we ruled in a certain manner. Let's go back to this case and see whether we can see it in the opposite light. Don't they?
Yeah, but that's,
Can I?
Well, that's a matter of law.
I'm saying that in view of that, so the judges must accept criticism as not to destroy, but to correct them and to put them on a path that all of them can see that they are straight. You understand? One, is it the case that research conducted by institutions have pointed out that our judges rule when it comes to issues involving political parties or individuals? They normally will rule in favor of the political party under whose regime they were appointed? I have not seen that. But all their rulings have pointed to that direction. And so when that is done, and then you take this ruling on this matter, this is how the judges ruled. On this matter, this is how the judges rule. On this matter, this is how the judges rule. And you take the trend analysis and you make that conclusion. How can your judges come and say that it is not true? More importantly, after these publications, we also saw that the then director of the Ghana Law School, Ansar Asari,
I'm going to play the video, I have the video,
had indicated most vociferously that, look, you can't take away the political judgments and decisions of our judges. That they normally would do to please their appointing authority. And he had worked in the Ghana School of Law. He was director. And he understands this more than anyone. And say that you are, particularly if you are a lawyer, and you accuse the judiciary in that light, and the General Legal Counsel takes you on, in a matter involving the Chief Justice, you will never get justice. So it's no surprising that the Honorable MP, Sosu, comes to say that how can a cockroach get justice in the court of the fowls? How? How can a cockroach, you know, cockroaches and fowls, you expect a cockroach to get justice when the fowl is actually the judge, they will eat the cockroach up. And so he does not expect justice as far as the Ghana Legal Council and what we call it, the Judges and Magistrates Council is concerned. He is convinced that what he has said, he's not going to back down. But obviously, as to whether he will get justice or not, I know that at some point, he suffered the revocation of his license because he did a case for a client, and it turned out that it was wrong. Later, the client had to come and apologize. He was reinstated. So it appears that his pronouncements are not very kindly taken by the judiciary. But Sosu, like many of us, cannot stop talking simply because you are meeting him with a threat. And I will want to encourage him that as long as he believes that the things he's saying sit within his conscience, push on, my brother.
Look, and Honorable, let me just play the video. Yeah, but are we not creating a situation where it would appear that we are just, you know, after the judges by reason of wanting some favors? Because eventually we'll come to that. That you are saying because you are here now, you are literally just simply saying.
Now let me give you this addition. Our brother is currently in Nsawam, and I visited him. Ohiniba Buama Benia. What was Ohiniba's crime? Ohiniba had said that the President of the Republic had met with the judges in relation to the Supreme Court.
The rule of the game is evidence. Prove it. You don't have any evidence.
You don't, Alaji will say, you don't start scratching your head when you are being shaved. See, and he said that they met the president at a certain time in the presidency. And then you charge him for criminal contempt. Now, the man says that, look, I've given you the date, I've given you the time that they met. The presidency has 660, not so. Just bring the footage of only that time and let's see whether the judges met with the president. In any case, it is not a crime for the president to meet with judges. Not so. The president has been meeting with judges. So if the man said that the president met with the judges, you say, yes, the president met with judges. And the president would have to be meeting with judges because they are an integral part of our governance system. What you can deny is that, look, what you are saying that the president met them on, the president did not meet them on. So provide the CCT coverage. You didn't. The man is languishing. Alaji, today is his 11th day in jail.
Even, Bernard, let me just... Kwame, why this lends itself to the politics? Kwame, you are here. When some leading members of the MPP in the 2012 election petition, you remember, including, the late Sir John, you remember?
I remember.
When they scandalized the court.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because they were in opposition.
Led by Justice Atuba.
They were in opposition.
Okay, I'm coming. Mm-hmm. Were they jailed? Even when they went before the court and admitted that they had fallen foul of the weather, the Supreme Court in its wisdom said that, look, this is not good. But because of the nature and the nature that we are in a democracy and sometimes we need to tamper justice with mercy, go and see no more. That one is not up to the gravity of what they did. What he just made a statement. If it's an allegation, it's not this thing. How come that one merited? He had to go to jail for 14 days. Is it not 14 days or 3 weeks?
14 days. So
okay, Kwame. Look at the selective amnesia. This matter that is being there is not regime specific, but we're saying that phenomenon
has to change.
Yes, exactly. Kwame, let me just ask you one question. Why there's political motives and delay? How come that anytime, for instance, in the Supreme Court, there's a close matter, 4-3 or 5-4, and the politicians say, look, we are going to empanel 2 more judges to make sure they overturn it. Kwame, and they actually go ahead and bring 2 more justices, and true to their calling, what the politicians say will happen, in the end, that is what happens. The 2 judges, they are going to add to the thing, they go and contribute and they turn the verdict. That one, so glaring that is, you say we should not say it's political. It's what?
Okay,
Kwame, how will you, Kwame, just tell me.
No, hold on.
Kwame, no, don't run away.
Well,
Kwame, how will you call that judgment?
Well, no verdict yet. But let's watch
and
this video.
This
interview was one that was granted by, I think is it ABC or something like that, and they spoke to Mr. Ansar, Professor Ansar.
It's actually not proper.
Let's just watch this this video. We'll be back in the studios to continue.
That, in the comes at all, that when it comes to these things, the judges are not independent. The judges are not independent. When they are selected, they are, they have to kowtow the line of the person who empaneled them.
So you are trying to say that the decision to pass 128.
No, when students go to court, they will lose, and they will lose because the judge who will hear the case will be told what to do.
But I mean,
the judges.
An independent body.
Yes, I know under Article 127 of the 1992 Constitution, independence of the judiciary is guaranteed. I'm telling you, as a lawyer and as a former director of the law school, that when the General Legal Counsel is taken to court, the judge who will hear that case may not, be all that independent. So if students decide to take the General Legal Counsel to court 100 times, they will lose 100 times. The judge who will hear the case is not going to consider the matter in controversy based on the available evidence in front of the judge. So the judge will do what is being told to do, or she has been told to do.
Does that indicate that judges in Ghana are not independent?
In political matters, in legal education matters, I am saying that they are not bold. They are timorous. They can't bite. They can only back. Quote me. Then when they go to court, the chairperson of the council is also the chief justice. Therefore, the chairperson of the council will select the judge to hear the matter against the General Legal Counsel. Do you think you will win?
So this video is Sky ABC, and this was an interview which was had with Professor Ansasari relative to all these matters, whether judges are political, whether judges are independent, and all that. One of the requirements is for you to have high moral turpitude.
Yes. You see,
we are questioning the very essence of being a judge in this country.
Determine what
when
constitutes
when we
moral
box them,
turpitude.
when we box them
What
within the
are the
peripheries,
ingredients
within the
of high
peripheries
moral
of politics.
turpitude?
but you see,
Because yes, we know that they are politically appointed. Yes, but whether we are saying that their conscience, and their decisions are taken over by political activities or political events, is where I have a little challenge.
Kwame, nobody has suggested here that the entire system or the entire judges are political. Nobody has said that. But we're saying that the element of politics exists within. Kwame, I just asked you that question. Anytime, for instance, there's a close ruling, and the empire, let me give you the example of the Chachuchika's case on the fast track high court. The decision of the high court was that the fast track court system was illegal, and Chachu took it to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
There was a 5-4, I think it was 4-3 or 5-4 verdict.
4-3.
4-3, fine. 5-4. It was one judge.
4-3.
4-3. Kwame, at that time I remember President Kufuor was not in the country. The political system said that look, they will not take this judgment lying down, and that when the president comes back, they will empanel. They will add 2 members of the panel and get the decision overturned. Kwame, through to the billing, didn't it happen? When the president actually and they added 2 members of the bench, Supreme Court bench to it, they overturned the decision. That was political. Kwame, just recently, not long, you remember when there was this issue about whether this judge should recruit in the Opuni case? You remember? The Attorney General went to court and said he will not take that judgment, and that they will do everything possible to overturn it. The Attorney General, he no be politician. On whose behest is he acting? They went to court, empaneled 2 people, and what was the decision again? So Kwame, when this is happening, they say if it quacks like a duck, walk like a duck, you cannot call it a turkey. It is a duck. So Kwame, in some of these instances that we are by no means suggesting, I will be the last person to suggest that there has not been instances where very erudite rulings and others have come from the Supreme Court and from even the judiciary.
Okay, all right.
Fantastic, but the existence of some of these things are things that led people to question some of these things.
Okay.
And so Kwame, once they exist, we must take steps under no matter which regime.
All right. I want us to discuss some other issues, but I think it's important to touch on this UTAC strike thing, okay, briefly before we come to the other matters. UTAC flouts court orders, fails to call off strike after meeting MPs. I mean, what are we doing in this country, Honorable? There's been a court order for you to cease fire and to go back to the classrooms. If you have any other issues, I think that the place for redressing such matters is to go back to the courts. So why flout flagrantly the ruling of the court when you know that is contemptuous?
Kwame,
Yes, sir.
court says that go back to the classroom.
Yes.
When?
As soon as it's practicable.
When? So the
Now.
the lecturers are waiting for as soon as it's practicable, so they can go to court. They can go to the classroom. I just wanted to throw that so that you see that sometimes we make some judgments and we leave it to the judgment of the person affected. So in this instance, go back to the classroom. You cannot be on strike and expect negotiation with your employer. Right? That is what the judge said. And so in view of the fact that you are on strike, you cannot engage the employer in negotiation. Technical, not so. But the employer can deny to honor his part of the CBA and expect you to be in the classroom and teach. The employer fails to honor his part of the bargain. And because the employer failed to organize or honor his part of the bargain, I am compelled, in the face of the difficulties, to sit down. Now, when I'm sitting down, the court come to tell me that, no, I cannot sit down. I should go back to the classroom whilst the employer has failed to honor its part of the bargain. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. So you are pushing me to go back to the classroom so the employer can continue to trample upon my rights that they have vitiated over the period. UTAC was not going to strike. They had complained that, look, the last time they were going to strike, it was the vice president, listen, who came and sat with them and gave them assurance that it will not take them the next 3 months, that all their problems will be solved. 2 years down the line, their conditions have remained as the vice president met with them. So they don't have any hope, because the vice president is the head of the economic management team. The vice president is the substitute for the president. He comes to sit in and say, look, I have had discussion with you. Out of respect for the high office of the vice president, these teachers went back to the classroom. 2-3 years down the line, the same reasons for which they were going on strike, they have come back to go on strike. Instead of the court to insist that government, you have failed to implement your part of the bargain, the court says that go back to the classroom before you can come back and then you and your employer can engage. Well, I'm the teacher, so I'll go back to the classroom and sit down. Teachers come and we look at each other's face. I have 90 minutes to do class. When you come, we sit down.
Play music.
Play music, we sit down, and I go back. I have come to the classroom. As they say saying that you can force the donkey to the riverside, but you cannot force the donkey to drink the water.
Okay.
So I appeal, and this is what I keep saying. Look, all of us have wards, we have siblings, we have people we take care of who are in the university, and in particular, those who are into exchange programs. You understand? Some of the students are on exchange. So the academic calendar is prepared in such a way that by now they should be getting to the end of their exchange program and be going back. Because we have decided that we are not going to have our education in place, it means that their programs of studies are also going to be impacted negatively. Worst of all is that COVID-19 had disrupted the academic calendar. And it needed about 2 years to correct that. And all of a sudden, we have this strike that has taken exactly, today is 40 days. And today is exactly 40 days. Our government has become clueless. They are not able to attend to this. And for 40 days, our students, Alaji, particularly those who are in private hostels, you go and pay for accommodation and you pay for maybe 6 months. They have started calculating from the day that they handed over the keys to you. As to whether you are staying there or not, it's not the business of the private owner. And so when you don't go to stay there and time is up, they will come and take their keys from you. Yet you have lost that period. And so all of us, those who support others in school, those who was in school, we are impacted negatively by this. But honestly speaking, our judgments must be such that they must meet the test of time. Government has failed to honor its part of the bargain. I have gone on strike because government has vitiated our agreement. They come and tell me that, no, I can't go on strike because you can't be on strike and be negotiating with government. What about the government who has decided not to honor its part? The reason for which I am on strike. Okay. So I am not looked into favorably. I can go back to the classroom, but I will not perform my maximum so as to deliver. So quality of education will be affected. And when quality of education is affected, Bernard, the quality of our development will also be affected.
Bernard, are we saying that there's no other alternative?
The alternative is for government to meet their expectations, particularly when the vice president was the one who sat in 2 years ago to tell them that, look, as vice president, I have come, go back to the classroom and I'll work out with the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Finance so that your conditions of service will be met. Are they saying that the vice president has no locus? Are they reducing the vice president's word to irrelevance? Are they saying that we cannot trust even the highest office of our land to come and tell people, and then we will respect the word of the highest office? Because when the vice president speaks, really, it means that Mr. President has spoken. And so if Mr. President has spoken, and over the period, these things are not met, then it means that something has gone wrong.
Okay. Well,
Kwame.
Honorable, I'm not naive in my mind to know that the whole situation is a little messed up. But I will say that we cannot find any vacuum of opportunity in addressing these matters, as opposed to government's position and the strike, and because in the end, who suffers?
Kwame, we are sitting on the truth and looking for it. The good old book, the Bible and the Quran, highly revered books, tell us that from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. I like Kwame. Maybe you are more spiritually inclined than me. If I misquote the Bible, you can correct me. Or for the Quran, maybe you don't know much. But it says that from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Kwame, when somebody tells you something, he's not saying it by heart. It's inside the person. He's telling you from what is inside. So the government said that the tongue is the leather that we use to descend into your belly to know what is inside you. Not too long ago, was it not President Nana Akufo-Addo who, in an address to teachers, Kwame, he went and was facing the teachers. I said, hey, you people, any of you who thinks you want money, this profession, don't make mistake. It's not a profession for you to come and get money. No teachers will ever dream of being a rich man. It's the president of the Republic who told the teachers. Kwame. So even if you have a government with this kind of mindset, what can you as a teacher do? They will look you in the face. The leader looks you in the face and tells you this. Kwame, straightforward. Can't you see the writing on the wall? You should see the writing on the wall. Kwame, I admit that we are in a democratic dispensation. And when the court rules on a matter, it ought to be obeyed. I agree. In a democratic dispensation such as we are, so that the sanctity of the courts and others are upheld. I would not contest that. But Kwame, even the courts are the first to know that we are in a political and social system where, notwithstanding the powers that the Constitution gives the courts to function, their decisions and others must also be anchored on certain developments within the social and political milieu. So, Kwame, I am saying that in as much as the court has directed them to go back, and Bernard Mona has said it clearly, that the ruling was what? Go back to the classroom. Is that not it? I heard one of the Utah people saying that, fine, go back. They are yet to even get a true certified copy of the ruling of the court. And two, when they get it, they are now going to ballot their members across the length and breadth of the country on when they should go there, or if or when they should go back. Kwame, like Bernard asked, what is the time frame for them to go back to the classroom? Was it immediate? Or that it was just an order, go back to the classroom? So go back to the classroom can be when? Tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Kwame, those are matters that are yet to be decided. But for me, Kwame, at the bottom of this matter that we should do is the respect for and the integrity of the teaching profession and teachers. And the sanctity of the word of government. Kwame, when the word of government becomes valueless because it is laden by deception, okay, that you go and give teachers your word, that come so and so date, the decision we have arrived to increase your research allowance, to give you your premium, to give you this and this, we will make sure that we do it by that date. Kwame, that date comes, where dodge. They come and remind you that, oh, the decision that we arrived at, so okay, you will give me another time. By December, we will make sure that this is done. Kwame, December comes and they come and remind you again, no show. What do you take them for? What then becomes the word of government and the dignity and standing of politicians? Kwame, all of us. Don't just say politicians are a bunch of liars. They just come and promise you what they don't intend to deliver. Because you give them, and like Bernard said, no mean a person than the Vice President of the Republic gives you his word, and his word ultimately turns out not to be worth the paper that it was written on. What signal are you sending to the people? Kwame, I foresee that we are in difficult times, very, very difficult times. Parliament has been seized with so many things that are coming up. Kwame, only yesterday the Finance Committee sat again on fees and charges to approve. It's going to go up, if you are not careful, by 30% or even more. So if you go to transact business anywhere, GVLA, you go to renew your license, you go to the Kwame, they are all going to go up significantly. So the hardship is going to increase for Ghanaians. And teachers are a microcosm, they are just part of the society. The salary and benefit that they were taking today cannot carry them anywhere. And so they have a legitimate basis to ask for more. Kwame, if government doesn't have the money, number one, this government must be candid. They must be candid to Ghanaians and to the teachers and tell them, look, we have so catastrophically mismanaged the economy. There's no money. So they must admit to the teachers that there is no money. And because we don't have money, we can't find where to get the funds to pay you this things that you are asking for. So bear with us. Kwame, that would be a first step of admitting the truth and trying to convince them that you are not doing so willfully to deny them their legitimate entitlements. But that the economy cannot afford to take what you are asking, what they are asking for. So we are pleading with them in their good conscience to understand you. But that first admission must be made by government that they have catastrophically mismanaged the economy to the point that, Charlie, we are totally on the brink of bankruptcy today. I'm not even going to talk about how we have been downgraded to the lowest level. Junk. Kwame, Kwame, government must take steps to end the extravagance, like Bernard was saying. In this day, when we are all struggling with this thing, the president choose to take the 14,000 aircraft again. He has taken countless times and we have complained. He says that he's going to do it. He doesn't care about what we think. And he's gone again. Okay. This time, not one nation, 5 nations.
Right.
Kwame, not only that. Look at the budget. I sit in parliament and we peruse the budget. When many other institutions, Kwame, including the district assembly, which hasn't gone 3 or 4 quarters to the assemblies. They have not sent those monies there. The Minister of Finance has sat on the money and used the money to do some other things. Kwame, the monies have not gone to the assemblies. To the point that today the Finance Minister is telling us the District Assembly Common Funds Secretariat to go and borrow money on the open market. Can you believe that? When statutorily these monies have been deducted every quarter, when this thing is made, an allocation is made based upon government revenue that is accrued. 7.5% that is supposed to is not done. When they are cutting this, Kwame, the office of the president has seen an astronomical rise. Office of Government Machinery, Kwame, in the 2022 budget, they moved from 2.6 billion Ghana cedis to 3.1 billion Ghana cedis. A whooping 500 million increase for the Office of Government Machinery headed by the president. Right. At a time when you say there's no money. So when you're telling teachers that there's no money and they sit back and they look at your office, they have increased your office money by 500 million. What do you take? You call them, what do you take them for?
All right. Thank you, Honorable. Let me go for this commercial break. When I come back, we're going to be touching on the fact that the Ghana cedi is in crisis and is ranked the 2nd worst currency in Africa as it depreciates by 4.7%. That's a story by the Inside newspaper. We also have another very important topic to discuss here, which has got to do with NAPCO trainees embarking on a demonstration to demand payment of allowance arrears. And I do recall that on this very platform, once we had a conversation about NAPCO and the fact that the beneficiaries had not been paid, we had people sending us messages from all across the country saying they had been paid. Someone was admitting that they had been paid.
Yes, clearly, I told him that they had not been paid.
Clearly, the reality has dawned on all of them. And the people who were also used for campaigns and things like that. I remember there was a gentleman whose picture was used for billboards and things like that. All those people, I'm sure, have now come to the realization that it was a facade from the very beginning. Now let's go for this quick commercial break. I've been telling you every day that as a young person growing up in this country, now we are in tough times. So when you get a little money, you have to save, and it's not just saving. You also have to invest in your future and in the future of your children and posterity. I'm recommending Trasacco Springs to you. Now, this is what is happening. They have a parcel of land, security with amenities, and they have service plots. So you can actually purchase those plots, pay it in installments, and then you can build your own homes. Originally Trasacco is known for building for you, and sometimes people say it's expensive and things like that. This time around, they've introduced the Trasacco Springs. Now, the Trasacco Springs is giving you an opportunity to purchase a parcel of land and pay it in installments. So let's go for this quick commercial break. On our return, we have these critical issues to discuss. I know for sure that you do not want to miss the next session. Stay with us.
Trasacco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658.
Let's go. All right, so I told you, Trasacco Springs, your best bet. All right. Honorable Ebifsin, I'm starting with you on the next topic.
Which one?
They are saying that Ghana City is in crisis. In fact, is in ICU. It is in coma. It is comatose. It is green. It is green. Now, clearly, we are ranked the second worst currency in Africa. That is something I've never ever heard before.
In Africa?
In Africa.
Not West Africa.
Worst currency in Africa. Honorable, how did we get here?
Yeah, Kwame, I've said that if you send your son to the hereafter, he will return, you won't recognize him. You remember the run-up to the 2016 campaign?
Yes, I do.
When Dr. Bawumia, the then candidate Nana Akufo-Addo, all said about Kwame, not only is the CD, fuel prices. So Kwame, the MPP they have a slogan there that break the 8. True, I want to congratulate the MPP. They are broken the 8. The fuel prices has broken the 8, and the dollar is in hot pursuit to also break the 8. So they are getting double break of the 8. Today, Kwame, if fuel prices have hit 8 cedis per liter, Kwame, multiply 8 by 4.5. What will you get? That's about 36. At least my mathematics will not be far off. Multiply 8 by 4.5.
That's 36.
That's 36, I lie. At least my math is better than G-Mensa. Kwame, that gives you 36 cedis a gallon.
There's 0.8 at the back.
Just leave it.
Okay, you round it to point. Then 39, 37.
36 cedis a gallon. Kwame. When President Mama was exiting office, in fact, the last increase under the NDC government of President Mama brought it to that 14. Kwame, there was a chorus of condemnations and insults by the MPP and its supporters, sympathizers, and even some well-meaning Ghanaians who said that no, fuel prices were going up. 40 cedis a gallon. Kwame. And that was even tagged as more criminal. Some of them even attempted to let you look at President Mama was so insensitive. How can a gallon of petrol or diesel sell at 14 Ghana cedis? If the good people of this country were gracious enough to allow the MPP to come to power, they were going to reduce this drastically. So Kwame, we are going to see a regime of decreasing fuel prices. Kwame, only for you to come to power since 2017, the MPP has increased fuel prices more than 50 times.
Yeah, that's true.
More than 50 times.
That's true.
Kwame, this year alone, we are in February, mid-February, just this year, we have not gone 5 times this year. This year alone. What kind of government is this? And when you ask, they tell you that government has no hand in fuel price management because it's deregulation. That is the biggest lie anybody will perpetrate. Because just go and peruse the petroleum price build-up. Come in, and you come up closer to 40% of the petroleum price build-up is made up of taxes.
That's true.
Come in the NDC, we faced this situation before. And living and taking due cognizance of the plight of the people, the NDC took measures to deal with the taxes. Kwame, you either remove some of the taxes or you bring down some of them which are ad valorem or specific. You take steps to tinker with the numbers. Or if there are percentages, you reduce the percentage. So that ultimately it brings the price down. Or you can stabilize it at a certain point. This government being insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians as it is. They don't care about the welfare of Ghanaians. They will slap the entire decision on Ghanaians and no measure will be taken to deal with it. So Kwame, we have 2 very important things that also contribute. Like I said, now the global world market price of crude is going up because of certain, this Ukraine crisis with Russia and some other international happenings. So it's generally on the increase. And take note, Kwame, today Ghana is a net exporter of oil. So the price of minus, if you do it, we are benefiting more from the oil price increase than it is affecting us. So why can the government do that cross fertilization to ensure that the windfall we are also getting from the increment as a result of the global prices is made to reflect on the pumps, so that we can ameliorate the suffering of our people. Kwame, today many people who depend on in the transport sector have had their businesses collapse.
That's a fact.
Taxi drivers.
Monday, tractor drivers are increasing their fares.
Yes, Kwame. Because I hear they increased 30%, and I heard some very, I don't want to, it's in the morning yet, some very unwise statement that the police should go and arrest any driver who increases prices. Is Kwame, I'm struggling to find a word to describe that kind of thing. That you have the liberty to increase, let prices
Nobody
hit the roof.
arrested you.
Nobody has you should have been arrested. Nobody has arrested you. You caused the problem. And that's what I'm saying about the MPP government. They will come and cause the trouble. When you react, then they say, everybody should look at you. They see how you are reacting. It's like what they did in Parliament. You are a deputy speaker. You yourself admit that you have no vote. Then you get up and say and tell us in the face that you are going to vote. And you expect us to look at you so that you just go and vote. As if we are a bunch of zombies. So you will commit that thing When Ghanaians react, then you now tell them, look at these people, look at what they are doing. You don't look at yourself. You increase fuel prices by heart. And people are reacting to the increase. Kwame, if they put it, how would the tractor driver be able to go and make his sales? If he leaves his lorry fare, the same thing before you increase the price. You increase it to 30%. At the time of the increase, he was making some sales. He was buying petrol at a certain price. When he goes to the pump, he's going to increase the amount that he uses to devote to get the same quantity of fuel. How do you expect to make him that? How does he make that one up? And you get up, you can't do anything sensible. They say that you are going to effect his arrest.
Bernard,
go and bend the car.
Go and bend the car. Bernard, let me come.
So, Kwame.
Yeah.
This one, and then the catastrophic fall of the city. You remember Dr. Bawumia, who said that he had arrested the deteriorating CD and the dollar and locked them up and given the key to the IGP. You remember?
I do.
Before he left the police station, it was running ahead of him. Kwame, take it or leave it. People even quote 3.8 or something. I'm just taking, at the time President Mama was leaving office, it was 4 cedis to a dollar. You promised the good people of this country that when you come, because the CD had depreciated to 4 cedis, you were going to arrest it and make sure that the CD will be stronger. In fact, I even heard on the campaign trail, some of them said that it will be CD for, they will match the dollar CD for CD. And that it will be 1 CD, $1. Okay, Kwame, you come. And when you hear the MPP, they try to hide behind percentages. Kwame, ask anybody who is a mathematician, unless they don't know even statistics. Kwame, when you start from the bottom, from 0, closer to 1, the percentages can rise faster. But as the numbers build up bigger, the percentage rise declines. So that's what we call the deception of statistical averages, percentages. So Ghanaians are not interested in percentages. The CD was 4 CDs. You promised that it was too high. You had a duty to bring it down. Absolutely. So we're expecting that today, for $1, we'll go and pay 3 CDs or even 2 CDs. Then we'll clap for you that you have done very well. When we come and we're paying more than 4 CDs, it's now 6.8. Some are even paying 7 CDs or more. Kwame. And you expect us for us to come and tell you that you have done better.
But let me bring Bernard in.
That is a joke.
Yeah, Bernard, let me bring you in.
So, Kwame, all this has culminated in imposing excruciating hardship on Ghanaians.
Let me bring Bernard in.
That is a problem.
Yeah, thank you. Bernard.
Kwame, the story is told of a young man who had a girlfriend. And the girlfriend kept complaining that the young man's poverty level was bad. So she jilted the young man. Somehow the young man went abroad and came in his pinpinis. When the girl heard that the young man had gone abroad and came back, the girl quickly ran to say that, I've forgiven you all your sins, so take me back. The young man quickly moved to the family house of the girl and said, I've come back and I want to honor you. So you see this, your wretched house. I want us to renovate it. So they got some people to come and pull down the house so they can renovate it. Soon after that, the young man got vanished, but the roof too has been pulled down. I think that is the situation the people of Ghana find ourselves in. That President Akufo-Addo came and promised us that before he could come to power, our currency situation was terrible, that we needed to pull the government that was in place out. And so he came and ensured the dismantling of the house. And soon after that, President Akufo-Addo is nowhere to be found, as is gallivanting in some parts of the world, enjoying sitting in a plane for $14,000 per hour, whilst the Ghanaian cedi is on its way to the Kalahari Desert. So here we find ourselves. I have said that by the composition of the Ghanaian economy, it is difficult for you to sit down and say you want to control your currency.
Yeah.
And in 2003, when President Kufuor decided to bring about the higher denomination of the cedi, we complained. Because at that time, 5,000 was the highest denomination. Alhaji, I hope you remember.
I remember.
And then we moved it to 10,000 and 20,000 at the time. That was in 2003, just a few months to the elections of 2024. Then come 2007, just close to the elections again, our currency was doctored. This time they said that there was so much zeros at the end of our currency and that we needed to redenominate our currency. They slashed off 4 zeros when people thought that you could slash 3. And when we slashed the 4 zeros, our currency was actually higher than the dollar. Yeah. Because if you needed to change for a dollar, at that time, the Ghanaian currency, which was then 9,600, which we denominated, meant that this time we have 96 pesos was equal to $1.
Yeah.
So the Ghanaian currency was artificially made to be stronger. So in effect, what it meant is that people should be keeping more Ghana cedis than keeping dollar, because the dollar would have been seen as weak. It did not take time or long for our dollar to equate our cedi to equate the dollar. And then President Kufuor said that our cedi was the equivalent of the dollar. I am wondering whether President Kufuor will be excited by the experiment of the redenomination that he did. Because today, what it means is that, Alhaji, we are paying almost 70,000 cedis to $1.
Yeah.
We are paying almost 70,000 cedis to $1. That is the extent to which our currency has deteriorated. So we are here pretending that we are doing well, when we know the history. That look, we were just doing 10,000, in fact less than 10,000, 9,600, which when we redenominated, it came to 96 pesos to the dollar. Today, we are paying almost 70,000 cedis to the dollar. And we sit down and we are touting our economic prowess. Our level of uselessness is unmatched. Because we tickle ourselves and then start laughing. Then you are tickling yourself. Then you are laughing. Who are you? What? You are deceiving who? Who are we deceiving, Alhaji? We are, look, it's, you know, then we did. Then we say we are moving to a cashless society. Just close to the elections of 2020, what did we do? We quickly marshaled. We are moving to cashless society, Alhaji. We moved from, what's the highest currency we had before the 100 cedis and 200 cedis?
Was it 50 cedis?
50 cedis. When we are moving into a cashless society, we decided to bring in higher denomination again, just as we did in 2003. So we moved into higher denomination. We brought in 100 cedis and 200 cedis. How is that a solution to our cash-full society? So it appears that our sense of economics is just warped, bankrupt. You know, we go and read books, and we fail to translate our books to our local peculiarities. And that is the challenge we have, because when you go and read about all these phantom theories, and you are not able to translate or to reduce it to the environment, because then you go and learn about Adam Smith. Adam Smith was not an African. He took the circumstances of his area and his geography to propound theories. So we learn about those theories, and when we come here, you come and talk the same. You know? And so that is the challenge. Kwame, what are the factors that cause depreciation of your currency?
Okay.
When your terms of trade is poor, what it means is that you cannot, it means you are importing more than you are exporting. And when you are importing, you are spending a lot of money. And we are not spending cedis, we are spending dollars. Man, we don't create dollars, but we have to go and buy the dollars and spend. So we are spending more dollars with a currency that does not travel beyond the borders of Ghana. So you are doing cedis. And you are trading in an international currency like the yuan, the dollar, the euro, and the pound. So we have difficulty. So in the United States, for Americans, we are told, they consume only 30% of the dollars that they generate. 70% is for international trading. So they send 70% of their dollars to be making money on them and making profit for them. We sit here, no African currency. So as we import and continue to import, it means that our currency will suffer the depreciation. What have we done to breach the importation? We've done nothing. Because we should export more. And what do we export? Charcoal, cocoa beans. We export things in their raw form. When we export the things in their raw form, you export more volume. You export more volume, but the value is
very small.
Very small. So Engineer Wood will tell you that in the 1960s, that 1 ton of cocoa, was the equivalent of 2 VW cars. 1 ton was the equivalent of 2 VW cars. Today, to get 1 ton, 1 VW car, you need 25 tons of cocoa. So when we sit down as a nation and say that you want to reach the 1 million mark of cocoa production, and then our government is busy trying to ensure that we reach 1 million tons of cocoa.
And China has started producing cocoa.
So you are busy trying to make 1 million tons of cocoa. I ask you, what is the value of that 1 million ton today as the value of 1 million ton of cocoa yesterday? So if we had 200,000 tons of cocoa yesterday, it is of more value in the 1960s than our 1 million ton of cocoa today. Kwame, you get it? So invariably, it means that we are producing more, we are exporting a lot of volume, but we are getting small in return. And now, when we go, what do we get? We import this. Common food, we import.
Rwanda is producing their own.
Earpiece, we import. Toothpick, that when we eat, we can just go into the forest and cut things and make toothpick. When we eat and then some things choke you take the toothpick to remove it. We import from Thailand. Kwame, underwear, second hand, we import. Mattresses to sleep on, we import second hand.
Do we import common sense too?
Everything we import second hand. The only thing that we don't import second hand, and the reason why we don't even import the second hand is that it's not available, is the toilet roll. The one you use to clean your ass after shitting. So that is how useless we are. So you expect your currency under such circumstances to be strong. Then you get up and say, under some artificial arrangements, that you have arrested the depreciation of the currency, you have handed the keys to the IGP. Probably the reason why the currency has left is that the same IGP has been dismissed. And so once the IGP has been dismissed and the new IGP has come, he did not hand over the keys to him. So the currency is now on bail or is running away. See, let us be serious as a nation. Let us encourage domestic consumption of the things we produce, because we must eat what we produce and produce what we eat. Okay? We must wear our clothes, Okay? And then we must produce our clothes. You don't get up and sell your cotton ginnery. And then you create unemployment in the Tumu to the Upper East Zone because they used to produce a lot of cotton. Now you sell the cotton ginnery, the Indians and then Bangladeshis come to buy. They collapse the factory. They now bring materials, garments from their country to come and sell for you. And you think that you will develop. So in the face of massive unemployment, large exportation of raw material, coupled with a voluptuous appetite for imports, your currency will continue to depreciate. So, Mr. Vice President, Mr. Governor of Bank of Ghana, may I assure you, the depreciation will continue. When under COVID, import was reduced, we were here touting ourselves that we have been able to contain the depreciation of the cedi. We told you that it was because we were not importing so much any longer. People were not traveling to go and bring in the goods. You said, no. You see now that the borders are being relaxed, reality has fallen on us.
Well, thank you very kindly, Bernard Mona. And our last topic, which I want to plead, if it's possible, I will just do two minutes for it, because my time is up. Honorable, NAPCO.
Oh, Kwame. If the house has fallen, you don't ask whether the roof is standing. You see, our people say that when you build your house with saliva, Kwame, when you build your house with saliva, it will be destroyed by the next Jew. When on the campaign trail, Dr. Bawumia, MPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, all of them went on this propaganda streak, planting plain falsehood and lies here and there, and especially hoodwinking the youth, that they had the capacity to give them jobs and others. Kwame, when even under NDC, the jobs creation model President Mahama had issued on evidence had produced jobs, not up to, of course, the degree we all wanted. They use this as a bait to lure the youth. And Kwame, you see, I've been saying it all the time. Nigerians say, born picking no be problem.
Money for cocoa.
It be money for cocoa. So just hatching a scheme, fabricating one and using it to hoodwink the people to get votes in the 2020 elections. We are facing the reality check today. And so Kwame, NAPCO was nothing more than an election trap. That was said, Kwame, when you want to catch a fowl, you throw corn around, no be so. Or to fish, you put a bait, you put some meat or some this in at the end of the hook for you to swallow and then you catch.
Absolutely.
That's what they did with NAPCO. Because Kwame, anything that you do that has, number one, not been well thought through, because it had no dedicated source of funding. Okay? It had no correlation, tangible link with productivity that would ensure that its performance would directly inure to the benefit of the economy and produce results. Kwame, it was not there. It was just a vote catching thing that they wanted to use. So no wonder, immediately after the elections, you saw the statement the MPP government that NAPCO DC has come to its end. And so they wrote to other organizations and others to terminate the appointments. Then come and see the hue and cry of those who end up. Then they immediately tried to reverse it by saying that, oh, they should just hold on with the termination as it was being looked at. Kwame, which government acts before it thinks? Kwame, do you act before you think, or you think before you act?
You think before you act.
But this is the cart before the horse in this government. Many of the things they go and do the thing before they come back and think, hey, this one is it like this? God of mercy. No wonder this country has sunk so low under the leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, because I am saying that they are not subjected to thorough thinking and appraisals before some of these things are done. They were just a spur of the moment thing to catch the unsuspecting youth who were crying for jobs and others. So today, Kwame, the same thing has happened to teacher trainees. You listen to the Dr. Bawumia, teacher trainees are suffering. Teachers are suffering. NABCO trainees today, what is happening to NABCO trainees? So today, teacher trainees have suffered and are suffering. NABCO, listen, Kwame, some of them, 8 months, 9 months now, they haven't seen penguin.
But when we're saying it, they say we're lying.
But today, Kwame, that's why I'm saying that if you send your son to the hereafter, he will return, you may not recognize him. So today, the chickens have come home to roost. The deception has caught up with them. The plain narrative propaganda that they have sought to plant in the minds of Ghanaians. No wonder you see today Dr. Bawumia has run away from the economy now to IT. Now he's not driving bus.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Better let me come to you.
He's become boss driver.
I have been in contact with the leadership of NABCO, and on most occasions, when I come to speak, sometimes people will ask, why are you saying things that are not true? And Freeman Kota, who led these demonstrations, had lamented time without number the poor conditions of service. And I also told you that whilst government indicated that every NABCO employee was going to get 700 Ghana cedis, non-taxed and non-Senate, right? That was the figure Parliament approved. The NABCO employees don't get 700,000. They get 699 Ghana cedis. 1 cedi is deducted. Now, that 1 cedi appears insignificant when it is just 1. But the NABCO CEO had intimated, Alaji, that they employed initially 100,018 people, which later increased. So if you employ just 100,000 people and you take 1 cedi out of every person and you multiply it by 100,000, it means that somebody has taken 100,000 Ghana cedis per month when the employees were taking 700 Ghana cedis. Who is that person who was taking the 100,000 Ghana cedis per month? And for the past 3 years, how much has the person taken? So it means that per year, one person just pocketed 1.2 million Ghana cedis. So if NABCO has run for 3 years, it is expected that the person would have pocketed 3.6 million Ghana cedis.
That's a lot of money.
I have been saying this and no one is interested. One person, one person. And the little that these young persons also have to take, you have put it in arrears. You are not paying them. You come and tell them that they have lost their jobs. And when you were employing them or you were putting them, you told us all that you were trying to give them skills, and then at the end of the day they will be absolved. So the Educate Ghana people, have you employed them as the teachers? The Heal Ghana people, have you employed them as the nurses? The Security Ghana people, have you employed them into the mainstream security? So that is the reality. These people are there as NABCO people, working and killing themselves at the back of 699 Ghana cedis, and then other people are brought in to come and now be employed. Once they are there, eventually you tell them that you are not able to continue the scheme. You want to remodel the scheme. So they should go home.
It's interesting, eh?
So now they are going home. The little two that
give them their money.
You are not giving them. And then Okay, so they have gone on street. Freeman, I don't know what after this demonstration you have done.
I think they should take government.
What I don't know what next.
They can go to court.
You know,
Yeah,
if you don't have a lawyer, come. I'll provide the services of my lawyer for you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you for watching today's edition of Good Morning Africa. My name is Kwame Owusu, and so let me say a big thank you to you for your time. And tomorrow is Alaji and Alaji. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be fire. Stay with us.
Trasacco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658.
Every day he looks after his brother and chases a bus. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, and learns new things. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus.
Truly African.